So in an interview with RT, Green Party presidential candidate Dr. Jill Stein went into full-on savage mode when she started talking about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And basically, she said everything that we're all thinking. You have a choice between either a proto-fascist in Donald Trump or a corruption queen in Hillary Clinton. Take a look.
What kind of impact do you expect to have on Election Day, and in what states?
Well, let me just say, voters are being intimidated into voting for the candidates that are the most disliked and untrusted in our history of presidential races. And it seems with every passing day, the race becomes more scandal-ridden and more outrageous between the queen of corruption, Hillary Clinton, and the walking scandal sexual predator, Donald Trump. And people are fighting angry. 72% of people have not heard of my campaign, yet the vast majority of Americans were clamoring for open debate so they could find out what other choices they had. The bottom line is this: there is not a new entitlement for the establishment politicians. They do not have an entitlement to our votes. They have to earn our votes. They have not earned our votes, and people are looking for something else. So my hope is to help inform and empower the American people to actually make choices, informed choices about our future. That's what democracy is supposed to be about. The fact that we have to choose between a proto-fascist and a corruption queen is absolutely outrageous, and really drives home why we have to break the stranglehold of this very corrupt two-party system. And I encourage people, don't throw your vote away voting for a political system that's throwing you under the bus. Invest your vote in a real movement for change. If we get to 5%, it will be transformative. It will mean that there is a people's politics that can no longer be swept under the rug, that can be a rallying point. Whether it's Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton in the White House, we're going to have to fight like hell to stop the next war, to stop World War III, to stop climate catastrophe, to stop the overtake of fascism over our country. We got a fight on our hands, and we need a political voice for that fight, starting on day one, the very day after this campaign. If we get to 5%,
right,
we will be much stronger in conducting that fight.
So I think that this is the best interview she's ever done, because everything that she said resonated with me. I mean, she really is communicating the anger that voters feel. We are not getting our voices heard within the two parties, and it's getting more and more frustrating. And as they both grow more corporatist, and the Republicans grow into a fascist party, and Democrats become the new de facto conservative party because Republicans are just off the rails crazy, well, voters are being left behind. So here's what she said. She said, voters are being intimidated into voting for the candidates that are the most disliked and untrusted in our history. And that couldn't be more true. I hear from my viewers all the time that if they say they're going to vote for Jill Stein, they're basically being told that they're voting for Donald Trump and that they're a fascist. What kind of logic is that? They're literally voting against Donald Trump by choosing Jill Stein because they don't like fascism, hence why they're not voting for Trump, but they also don't like corruption and corporatism and war, which is why they're not voting for Hillary Clinton either. And if they say that they're voting third party, they're called stupid. No, it's called actually taking a stand and drawing a line in the sand and saying, I am not voting for either of these two shitty choices. Now, she also said, with every passing day, the race becomes more scandal-ridden and more outrageous between the queen of corruption, Hillary Clinton, and the walking scandal sexual predator, Donald Trump. This couldn't be more true. Every single day, there's a new scandal involving either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. If it's not Hillary Clinton and her email scandal, it's Donald Trump sexually assaulting someone else. Some new victim comes forward and said that he really did grab her by the vagina. It's just unacceptable. Why can't we actually have a substantive race about the issues, but instead we have two narcissists who are making this entire election about them? And every single day, I get more and more frustrated knowing, oh, what scandal is going to come out today? It's so tiring. Now, she said the fact that we have to choose between a proto-fascist and a corruption queen is absolutely outrageous. I mean, this communicates everything I've been thinking since they both became the party nominees. I mean, if you vote for Hillary Clinton, then you are choosing corruption. You're choosing war. You're choosing to solidify the rightward shift of the Democratic Party. And she's not just taking members of the Democratic Party establishment with her. She's moving the whole base along with her, because now we see Democrats, so-called lefties and liberals, standing up for her vote for the Iraq War and her vote for the Patriot Act. This is dangerous. And then if you vote against that, then you're voting for a fascist, someone who is empowering white supremacists, someone who literally is implementing World War II era policies against minority groups, choosing to ban Muslims. He's also a serial sexual predator. He's a con man who went bankrupt, who said that he would default on US debt. He's just a crazy person. But if you want to defeat him, then you have to choose a corrupt candidate. It's just a lose-lose situation. It's lose-lose. No matter who wins, we all lose. Now, regardless of who you think is the lesser of two evils, progressives are going to have to fight like hell to prevent either one of these two narcissist candidates from destroying the country. Now, Jill Stein states, if we get to 5%, it will be transformative. It will mean that there is a people's politics that can no longer be swept under the rug, that can be a rallying point. And I couldn't agree more, because if Jill Stein reaches 5%, I think that this would prevent the Democrats from moving further to the right, because they would see that they now have a growing threat in the Green Party, and it would force them to move back to the left, because if they continue to move to the right, well, then they're going to lose all of their liberal base. They're going to migrate over to the Green Party, as many of us have already done. And if the Green Party reaches 5%, that shows them that regardless if they can or can't win, the Green Party will take votes away from them and cost them the elections if they don't turn around and come back to the left. Now, she said, with Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump in the White House, we're going to have to fight like hell to stop the next war, to stop World War III, to stop the climate catastrophe, to stop the overtake of fascism in the country. We got a fight on our hands, and we need a political voice for that fight. And again, this is another thing that I've been saying all along. I am absolutely terrified at the fight that we're going to have on our hands. When Hillary Clinton gets elected, we're going to have to stop her from implementing more neoliberal policies. When Donald Trump gets elected, I don't even know where the hell we begin. Fascism has come to America in the form of an orange clown, and we have to stop that. We have to prevent him from implementing these horrible policies that will literally take us backwards when it comes to social progress. So I don't know what we're going to do. All I know is we're going to have to fight. Whoever is elected on day one, I'm going to hit the ground running, and we'll continue to criticize them and hold their feet to the fire, because either one of these candidates, it's not about the policies. They don't really stand for anything besides their own ego, and that's really harmful. So I'm going to make sure that I do everything to speak out against whichever one of these two people are elected, and just hope to God that Jill Stein gets 5%.